Kyle here from allmeterviews.blogspot.com. The Deer Hunter album videos, the Color Spectrum Part 2, which covers, again, 3 more of the 9 EPs, 3 more of the EPs. I think I have it set up here. Yeah, yep, yellow, green, and blue. So, fortunately, I don't have the track list on the CD here. They didn't even include that, of course, on the CD. They have it on the CD book, but yellow, green, and blue. So, if you're counting numerically, I guess you could say it's 4, 5, and 6. But who's counting? Of course, I have the vinyl. So, I guess I'll just go through each. I'll show each one right now. Green, and this is yellow. So actually, yellow should go first. This is yellow, as much as it. I'll pull it out. It doesn't look yellow. The label says yellow there. Yellow, green. You can sort of see that. Green and blue. So, so this is another good group of EPs. I think that's less sort of dynamic compared to those other 3, I guess, if you're just comparing them. But just going through them. So the first one, yellow. This one, like orange, yeah, it has a little bit of a Western vibe to it. In fact, it might have a little bit more Western vibe, but unlike having the blues rock of orange, I think it's more, because it doesn't look like yellow. You look at it, I mean, I guess it does. It looks gold almost, but it's more like power pop, Western, like Western power pop, if there's such a thing. Well, I mean, the tracks, there's 3 out of the 4 tracks I really enjoy. The one I'm sort of kind of lukewarm about is the 3rd track, Suavo, I don't know how, A space S-U-A, or A Suavaz, V-O-Z. But Misplaced Devotion, that's the one that I always think of guys on horseback, talking about in your room tonight. I should just look at that. Hold on. Misplaced Devotion. Hey girl, let's lose ourselves today. We can go anywhere we need to get away. Kind of an escapist thing. It's almost, to me, it's like a guy trying to win over the girl, almost secretively, to sort of like, much to the dismay or non-approval of her father. Kind of, again, it's sort of in the countryside, rural, Western, again, I can't think of horsebacks, a guy riding on horseback, and it's sort of winning the damsel in distress, not the damsel in distress, but winning, what's the courtship, courting the girl, basically. I always think of that. I mean, it may not be entirely to do with that, but that's the song Misplaced Devotion. So I don't know why it's called Misplaced Devotion. You're devoted to something that is misplaced. You should be devoted to something else instead. But she's always singing The Dead Don't Starve. Those 2 songs both have a great energy. Again, they sound very power pop. The Deer Hunter has dove into pop and power pop almost at points. Casey's a lover of the Beatles, the Beach Boys, especially those 2, and then even stuff earlier. They once covered that song Dream by, is it the Everly Brothers? Anyway, but yeah, I like the Yellow EP a lot. It kind of crosses over a little bit with a couple other EPs in terms of like what happens with, like, if Orange is more kind of Western blues rock, the Western element seems to sort of interlace and kind of transfer over. So anyway, and transfer is not the right word. Crossover, or the styles kind of, I don't know. Oh, I forgot to mention one other thing. It also has Cameron Crown, from the band Naive Thieves. I had it on here, and I don't know where it is. It's Cameron from Naive Thieves. Naive Thieves opened for the Deer Hunter for part of that tour that I saw them on the Color Spectrum. So moving on to the Green EP. This one is, again, kind of rural, musical sounding, not country exactly, but it's more power pop as much, but it's just kind of the songs are poppy, but they're a little slower at times. The Inheritance is my favorite track on this one. That one is sort of like a story of like a son who betrayed his father or something like that, and now he's not going to inherit what his father brought him up to do. Like, he betrayed him, like he went against him. I don't know. Maybe he went off and dated and married a woman, without the father's approval or something like that, or he didn't take a job, he left town and they wanted to come back. I don't know. But that's why I've always gotten the sense from that song, The Inheritance. But talking about it's not yours anymore. I think that, but again, that doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of, mouth to feet. My job is done. You're old enough. It's almost like he's saying we had our run. Now you're old enough to go run down your track. So don't look back. He's more telling the kid, we can't take care of you anymore. You're on your own now, or you have to take care of yourself now. Something like that. I don't know what a father could be saying to any child, or the mother, I suppose, more likely the father. So, the Canopy is catchy. I mean, that's the catchiest track in here. But green, of course, represents like nature, grass, plants, vegetables. So I still think, between orange, yellow, and green, they all have kind of a rural land, country element to them, to an extent. Maybe more folky in this sense. But it's still good. I just, Crow and Cackle is the one I listened to it again today, and I'm still kind of, he's singing like really high pitch. It almost sounds like Mayer Hawthorne. It's weird, like a falsetto, but, I mean, it's not a bad song, but I mean, if I'm rating tracks on HP, which a lot of the fans probably do, Crow and Cackle would probably be my last track on this one. So, so now the third one today, Blue, and this to me is a shift in style. I think if you compare it to the previous two, and it's kind of distinct. I don't think there are too many other EPs that really cross over. I call it, it's post-rock, it's atmospheric, a little spacey at times, underwater, Blue, you think of water oftentimes, or you think of the sky. So, when I just was listening to this just a little bit ago, and the last two tracks, especially the collapse of the Great Tide Cliffs, is terrific, the last 2 minutes. I mean, there a lot of post-rock, if it is post-rock. I mean, I don't know if the band, in Casey, would necessarily describe it that way, but often is methodical, but then it has a crescendo that leads to a huge climactic, layered, loud, big sounding payoff. And that's the great collapse of the collapse of the Great Tide Cliffs. I'm not saying it's like a top 5 The Deer Hunter song for me necessarily, but I think among the color spectrum is probably in the top 5. I love the ending of that song. Tripling and Triplets is kind of sympathetic. I don't know, it's almost like, of course the cover, I'll show the artwork for Blue. I think of water, or like on a cliff diving into water. Actually it's a little darker here. I think this is what Blue represents. So I don't know if it's sort of meant to be not necessarily depressing, but sort of atmospheric. And, I mean, it definitely is atmospheric, but it definitely is sort of like Triplet and Triplets to me is like someone who's sort of struggling over something. It could be over, it literally sounds like it's either a musician with triplets or, there was another thing that came to mind and I forget now. It could be a metaphor for a lot of stuff. Someone just, trying to do something and they're being frustrated. A little bit like Blank Page from Toy Matinee. It's like, well, I'm trying to do this, but why is it not working? I need help here, that kind of thing. So, I mean, and, the truth is, if you want to say post-rock or this kind of atmospheric, sensitive music, is it depressing or is it melancholy in a way? A lot of respects, it's both. So I think that's kind of what he was going for in a sense. What You Said and Trapdoor also. Trapdoor has a great or What You Said rather, has also a similar kind of ending crescendo, and the guitar textures on that very much is like a underwater, watery kind of. The tone is it's psychedelic in some ways. So yeah, the Blue EP has always been one I've enjoyed, and I actually hearted every one of those tracks on Spotify a few months back when I was listening to this also, and I remember why. I still remember why Blue has always been one of my favorites. Although I'll say that it is, all the pieces are definitely not fast. They take some time to get to the parts that I enjoy. So in that sense, I probably don't listen to them as much as some other EPs on tracks on all these EPs, but this is one of the most rewarding EPs among the 9 EPs. So anyway, those three, yellow, green, and blue. So we got 3 more left tomorrow. And again, I can show the photos in the book here, and the CD, of course. The CDs are kind of just moot. I mean, it's the color spectrum on this box. Yeah, let's just see here. You got, this is green, this is yellow. Now that looks more, again, it looks kind of goldish, but that seems more yellow than orange the way it looks on the actual record. You can see how it's connected to the orange, EP cover. And then green, it's all about, the earth, plants, doing green, the environmental. And then the water, with the, it's kind of it looks, I don't know, like Dark Shadows. It's a little bit like the intro to Dark Shadows, the TV series from the 60s. So yeah, there's 3 more, and I'll probably not do it tomorrow, probably more likely Thursday. And then if I keep going, just to not, I'm not going to be holding much back. Yeah, it'd be Migrant, after that. Migrant, Follow the Color Spectrum, and, I think I'll probably do a summary after I'm finished on Thursday if I manage to do that for the rest of this. And then the rest of the records only have a few more, and then a ranking. So there was something else I was going to mention. I mean, stuff has just come up, but of course, man. Oh, the Kevin Gilbert vinyl stuff. That just come up, and I thought I just got something in the mail, and it's not here. I'm not showing it. Anyway, but thank you for watching. What's your take on these 3 EPs? Green, yellow, green, and blue. Are they your favorites? But thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.